Bud. Do you have any questions? Anything else you're worried about?
Me?
Yeah, anything?
Well, I mean, I'm slightly worried about the graffiti stuff because, like,
Nah.
people keep dumping it.
No, no. No need to be worried about this. As time goes on, it'll be fine. Everybody's worrying about things now, but we're still in the market depression. Uh, you just wait. When we're riding high in a good time, everything's going to be doing very nice. Do you know what's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen with this graffiti Dropbox stuff? The graffiti boxes soon. We are going to reach the end, and I need to start uploading my graffiti box VODs because I need to put out a video to shout out and say, right, graffiti box set is now done. We're not seeing anymore, and that would, people will start to buy into it when they realise it's all finished.
I've not got any of them.
I mean, I did sell my comps box earlier
Mm-hmm.
because, yeah, I'm slightly concerned that that's going to drop because people keep dumping them.
Well, that got pumped. That components book got pumped. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if a week later it got dumped a bit. It's not a surprise. Yeah, don't worry about this.
Should I rebuy it?
No, leave it.
On buy or
Mate, you're worrying about a single case. If you had 50, I'd be like, oh yeah, mate, okay, that might be a bit of a problem. But
Yeah,
you've just got one. Take your profit.
I only had one.
Take your profit and be happy. At the end of the day, it's a profit, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But like, if you had maybe 10, I'd suggest things and whatnot. But you've got one, so.
I have 2 lockers. That's the only duplicate skin I have.
Right now, the lockers are doing pretty all right. Up 32%. Doesn't look like there's any major dumping at the moment, so it probably is going to be all right. Even though it was oversaturated, it looks like it's totally fine. But let's wait until the end. Let's wait until Thursday, when it's been a whole week since last week, and then see. Maybe some people waited until the very last second to then buy a bunch of this. It could very well have happened.
I'm not too worried about it because I know eventually over time it will go up.
Yeah, it will, definitely. I honestly don't think we're going to be seeing any locker skins for the rest of this year. I could be wrong. There could very well be some holiday theme ones, but that's that. Right, gents, let's go find...
I was selling my AK as well.
What about the Dropbox? How's that looking?
Dropbox is fine. Dropbox, again, you can't judge it until next week. I will be on it. I'll be staring at it. Don't you worry. But there's nothing we can really do. There's nothing we can really act upon just yet. We've got to leave it, and then I can I'll give you a proper answer. Because, as I said, some people wait till the very last day and then buy it. So I can't comment because at the moment, the amount that are currently on the market, technically speaking, probably isn't the like. I need to wait and see until I see like a genuine amount on the market. Let's see how many have sold in the past 24 hours. 147, and then there's only like 137 on the market. Is that correct? What else could I do to compare and figure out the overall average quantities? Graffiti storage. Let's compare all these quantities. There's only 9 of them. 8 technically, because the 9th one isn't marketable yet. And the one that has the most on the market is graffiti sulfur. Why is that? It's the oldest one. Metal storage. See, this is probably why metal storage has started to struggle as of recent, because there's so many of them on the Steam market. 55 dumping, 40 dumping. So there's signs of dumping, and they're very old. There's a lot of them, very high quantity. So yeah, that's going to be badly affected. Now, gun storage, even though it's got the fourth highest quantity, it's still got such a great demand to it that the price is being held up. The buy orders are strong in it still. So nothing to worry about here. I fully expected this to be the most in demand one. We're totally fine. So, based on what I see here, metal with so many graffiti metal storages being put on the market, don't worry about this price though, that's glitch, but with so many being put on the market, it's becoming more and more oversaturated. It's becoming quite a problem. Now, graffiti drop storage, as of now, there's only 138. But as I said, we cannot properly assess it until a week has passed. I would say at least 2 weeks. But at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if it probably gets to around the same quantity on the market as the gun storage and probably the same price. Because I fully expected these two to have a very, very similar demand. Graffiti did sell more than guns, but that probably had a bit of a hype wave behind it. A lot of people very likely realised how hyped up it was based on so many people requesting it from Lodi and whatnot to push it ahead from his original plans for how we wanted to roll these out. I waited until the very last day to buy mine, didn't I? I bought 50 because I know, regardless, in the long term, it should be fine. A totally fine thing to treat as a bond. And, towards December, the end of December, post-Christmas, I fully expect it. I fully anticipate selling it for around double the price I bought it for. That's if I need that money. That's if I genuinely need that money. We'll see what happens. But you know what? Graffiti ammo storage, the least bought case out of all of the graffiti storages, has the lowest quantity in the market as well. Doesn't have the highest of prices though, does it? But it's still doing very nicely. Would you say this is dumping? Not severe, but all of that you see here is about half of the quantity that exists. So that kind of is a problem. But other than that, all these storages right now, except Stone, they're looking pretty good. They're all fine. Stone has such low demand that it's just not going to really jump up in price until a very nice period of time happens. What am I trying to say? Like a post-Christmas or a summer hype. But at the moment, it's the 17th of July and there still isn't any summer hype. Where is the hype? Where is the jump up in prices and whatnot? Where is the super high demand? We're not seeing it. Antwerp 2022 killed all momentum that we could have had. What are you trying to say, Crimsy?
I'm looking to sell my AK skin as well. I don't use it.
What is your AK skin?
Tempered.
Tempered AK. When did you get that?
I got it not actually that long ago, maybe like 2 months ago.
How much did you buy it for?
About 19.50.
If you wait a little bit longer, you probably will be able to sell it for a much nicer price. But
I didn't really buy it as an investment. I mainly bought it as a play skin. I don't really play that far enough. I've never actually crafted an AK before.
Okay, well, if you want to take the hit, you probably get about £16-17 back. If that's something that you're totally fine with, it's just, is it...
I mean, to be fair, I didn't even buy it. My dad did, technically, because he gave me 20 quid to buy something. I just kind of spent it on pixels.
Looking at what... so I'm just reading what Meta's saying here. Think Stone Graffiti already hit its rock bottom. We're going to see it bull run. Like I said, right now we have how many graffiti storages? We have 9. So here's the theoretical outlook. Scientific ended at how many? How many did it have in total by the time it finished its complete set? Scientific...
20 odds.
Let me get the actual number. 17. How many did Neon get? Neon storage ended at... Okay, 18. So, I reckon we're looking at potentially around... We're probably halfway. We're probably halfway with the graffiti storages now. Let's go take a real quick look at the workshop. Let's go take a look and see what's potentially coming out next. So we already know about Meds. Meds has already been made and uploaded to the workshop. What have we got next? Clothes. Clothes is the 4th one I expect to be one of the most in demand ones. So I'm looking forward to that. So we've got a boom, we've got tools, we've got gunpowder, we've got coal, we've got fuel, we've got deploy, farm, ore. If I was in charge of this, don't do boom, don't do gunpowder. They're pretty much the same thing. Why have sulfur, explosive slash boom, and gunpowder? Just have boom. Because you're kind of splitting them up, but realistically, sulfur's always going to be made into gunpowder and whatnot. So, and then gunpowder's always what?
It's money. Like he's gonna make more money if he makes.
Don't do that though. It's already been done. Make stuff like scuba diving gear. Scientific storage was trying to do different things. He did car parts. He did fuel storage. That's cool. That's fine. Do stuff like that. You know, like I honestly am annoyed. I wanted to see a neon storage. So a neon storage for all your neon storages. I mean, for an April Fool's joke, that would have been funny. But like, yeah, why do sulfur and boom and gunpowder? Are you doing it because the other ones did sulfur, boom, and gunpowder? There's a reason why sulfur suffered in the other sets. Sulfur did quite alright in scientific, but then it suffered. Why? Because people would rather have a boom storage and put their sulfur in that than have a sulfur storage and put their sulfur in that. Makes sense. They're saving money, and they don't necessarily need the sulfur box. Sulfur's not super duper amazingly important to have its own box. It appears, you know, they'd rather just put it in an explosives box. Same with gunpowder.
Sorry.
Do you think scrap will ever see the light of day or not?
Unfortunately, I think Facepunch probably might be clued in, and they probably realise scrap boxes in the past probably haven't done very well in the past.
Do you use scrap box?
Again, yeah, because theoretically, in terms of like design, you don't want people to be hoarding their scrap. You want people to be spending their scrap. You want people to be using their scrap to continue the game flow.
As a currency, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not currency, but like remember, you need it to make weapons and research and all that, and then use.
It is kind of a currency because you use it to buy.
It is, yeah, but it is the currency. But it is like if you're not spending it, then you're not. If you're not spending it and using it, then you're not playing the game. And they want you to constantly keep playing the game, so they probably don't want you to hoard it. It's an out of the box type of thinking. I'm trying to give it a reasonable answer. That might be a stretch. I understand, but like, we don't want you to hoard it. Spend it, you know, stuff like that. But yep.
No, but there is no reason for it, really. There's no need.
Also, why are they making clothes as well? Because me personally, I just put my armor and clothes in the same box.
I mean, you're right to say that, but people like to put their clothes in a separate box. It seems clothes has done well. Clothes has done well in the past, so it was one of the best sellers and one of the most invested into. So, again, why not? The reason why I'm annoyed with sulfur, boom, and gunpowder is because sulfur and gunpowder have suffered in the past, whereas the explosive box and the boom box have been all right. So, like, why bother? But with clothes and armour, they have been alright in the past. I've seen them in other examples where they've been totally fine. That's why I say armour and clothes are one of the top 4 that I fully expect to be one of the most in-demand boxes. So, yeah. So farming storage, personally, like, let's put gunpowder away. Make that number 20. An ore box, sure, maybe push that one forward. Farm box, push that forward. What is deploy? I don't know what that implies.
That'll be like your box. That'll be like your boxes.
No, you wouldn't have deployables in a box. You'd have it deployed already. So that sounds null and void. So let's just forget about that one. I'd say forget.
Well, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And then I'd say forget about gunpowder. Now you've got 18. A coal box. Yes, you do need coal. Wouldn't you just put it in the boom box?
Oh, wait. For a deployable, it could be like stone walls, like large stone walls and stuff for raiding.
Possibly. That's not a bad shout. but still, I feel like that's the weakest one to potentially have next.
Yeah, I mean it's like very niche, but like
Meta says, obviously, Hedge has never played in a large clan. True.
I barely played.
I have
The
played.
coal one makes sense.
I'd like to chime in and say I always have a deployables box too.
Micro, would you like to elaborate?
Just you accumulate a lot of things that you plan on using when you have the space, but you don't have place to put them now.
See,
Could be water catchers, could
Oh,
be
yeah.
planters. There may be other places to put stuff like that, but it could be wooden barricades or stone walls. A lot of
Spare
stuff.
doors.
Pardon?
Spare doors in case it gets
Spare
blown
door.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Building
Makes sense.
materials, and not wood or stone, but like stuff used in construction. Maybe some chain link gates or some prison cell gates or
Alright.
whatever.
Right, I've got you.
so there you go. The more frequent players have proven me wrong. Like, I can, from my viewpoint, no, it's good. Like, it's good to have all your opinions being said here, because we can break this down and realise I was wrong there. That's actually loads of good points. Yeah, okay, that works. Deployable, you're back in. Coal. Now, I understand the coal box is probably going to be next to the furnaces, right? As in, I know loads of people are constantly putting wood into furnaces that can keep churning out coal because they keep needing to make gunpowder, don't they? I can understand that's okay to have. Fine. Do you really ever stockpile fuel? Is that something that ever really happens? I'm not 100% sure.
You just put it in the thing that you need the fuel for.
But then
Fuel's used for med pens, so
No, but you're thinking low grade fuel. I'm thinking this is meant to be like the oil.
Crude oil.
Yeah, crude oil.
the crude oil.
Yeah.
I mean, crude oil's only used to just make low grade.
Yeah, alright, that makes sense. Alright, no, that kind of works. I should put your fat in there as well. And
Yeah.
put maybe some cloth on that. No, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Alright. Tools I can respect, yeah. Clothes I can respect based on what's happened before. Still, I'm unsure on gunpowder. I don't know. Would you have ore as a box? Maybe.
I personally, if I was like when I play, I have like my ore box. Like, say I use a metal box, I put the frags and the metal ore together. Same with the sulfur, things like that. So
Yeah. So yeah,
high
you
quality
would put it
things
in
like
you
that.
put it in the metal box. So technically speaking, maybe that's the redundant one. So if we remove these two, right, and then we have all of these left, so then we have 18, and that's likely what you'd have as your full 18. Because remember, in theory, this is going to end around 17 or 18. So no, that was really good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Like now I've got to go speak to Lottie. I'm not in charge. But that is what I would suggest. There's definitely 2 here that could be removed, and then you'd want to work around that, because in theory, from what we've seen before, this is probably only going to last maybe another 2 more months, and then once we've reached around 18, then Face Punch is going to say, right, no more. That's what will happen. Will we ever see scrap? Like I said, it's very unlikely. If we were going to have it, then we would have had it by now. But what's this? A fuel box is very niche. Would rather have a small graffiti fuel box. Not a bad shout. Duck did try to get small neon boxes. Sorry, I've got them off near me. Duck did try to release small neon boxes, but it never took on. Face Punch didn't want it. So I would like to see small boxes to add on to the current box sets that we do have for the smaller scale things, because that is correct. Maybe the fuel box should be a smaller box. Some of these things could be smaller. Would you say coal box should be smaller, because then it can easily be slotted in the same room with the furnaces? What would you say? Or would you say people should just grab it all and put it in along with everything in the storage area? What do you reckon?
I mean, you got to think about Zergs, because a lot of them, there's like 50 plus of them, and they just like mass produce stuff. So like, a big box is really helpful for them. Like,
Coal needs to be large, is what I've
you
just
make
read.
quite a lot of coal as well.
Yeah. All right then. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Also, I want to say something else.
Go on.
You know the graffiti wood storage on the market?
Yeah.
Looking at the buy order build up on it, it's pretty much non-existent.
The buy order build up on the wood storage. Let's take a real quick look at
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty much being held up by hopes and dreams at this point.
No, it got held up by. It got pumped up. Yeah. So what happened was, wood was actually pumped up. People bought out all the stock, and what I'm led to believe is maybe the people that, well, bought it all out, they are probably in the vast majority of ownership, and they're not going to sell tons of it in one go. They're going to sell it in batches. Maybe it's the people here of 24. One thing we could do is I'll go to the week. So this is how you can figure out if they're being tracked on SCMM. So I'll go to the week that the wood storage came out, and I'll click it, and it will show me all the people that own it that are being tracked by SCMM. And let's see if someone owns like several thousand of them. Right. Could it be the anonymous user? Could be them, maybe. Or is it Rushed? Rushed, what are you doing? I know who you are. Remember, there are some private accounts out there that buy a whole bunch of Rust stuff that don't get detected. It was definitely pumped though. I remember seeing wood storage down to about like 30 quantity, and then magically a week later it's up by $2, and now this is appearing with 24 quantity. All you need to do is just go ahead, look at the past, and see if you can see like about 50 purchases in a single day, and then you would have noticed. So I think I can see it right there. It's like 11, 7, 8, 8, 10. That is like over a course of an hour. I can't remember the specific day, but someone definitely did walk in one day and buy out like 50 of the quantity over the course of a couple hours. And obviously from the end of June to the beginning of July, about a week, it went from about $3, jumped up to one point almost selling for around $6. It near enough doubled in price. So yeah, you've always got to keep an eye on like the amount of sales that happen and whatnot. It is technically being held up by wishful thinking, but it was also manipulated, bought out. It's fully organised disaster.
Ah, right. Well, I don't have one. I sold mine a while ago.
Well, you got nothing to worry about then. And just reading to the left once more. Coal needs to be large. Oh, I read that. Most of the graffiti books buy order build up is low past $2. That is true. We kind of, as I said, we need to have like a big event. We need to have like a summer hype or something to happen to get to see another wave of reinforced buy orders. But what I think would lead to that also would be the day that we see graffiti storages aren't being accepted anymore. When we notice it's the end of graffiti storages, that's when I think we're going to start seeing a wave of extra buy orders put down, and that's when they start to get more reinforced. Graffiti storages have fared very nicely over time. As I said, the original ones I fully expected to go up in price with more higher buy orders, but evidently it hasn't been 100% correct, has it? Because these three have started to become like lesser compared to all the recent ones, but maybe all of these ones have had more eyes on them because they've been manipulated more, whereas these ones haven't. Now, if I look at the total amount of buy orders, this has over 2,000 buy orders, but I think quite a lot of these buy orders are fake. 750 at a pound. Oh, well, no, that would be like $1.22. So let's just go down here. Yeah, $1.20, 750, and then there's like layers of 100, layers of 100, layers of 100, and then yeah, up to about $2 all of a sudden. Maybe they're real, maybe they're fake, maybe people did them quite some time back and forgot about it. I don't know. But 2,000 buy orders there, 878 buy orders here. So yeah, 43 buy orders at $2.22, and then $2.58 right there. So, right then. And as we know, stone, the unloved child, nobody wants stone because, well, stone's very low in demand. So, I'm just going to read quickly to the left. There are 4 material boxes and wood has the lowest quantity because it was the one that was bought out. I'm led to believe there's a private account that has a ton of stock because it bought out the vast majority. It's probably that anonymous user guy. There used to be quite a very decent amount of quantity for wood before, and then it got attacked. And it still shows signs of it. I believe it's the most expensive box at the moment out of Graffiti. Indeed it is. Currently selling at around $5. Guns is just behind it. Guns has like 50% more quantity, but I definitely feel like this has much stronger demand to it. In fact, you can even see the buy orders. Buy order total amount, over 1,000 buy orders here. And over here, 844. But
Do you think it could be people like trying to pump it up to use on gambling sites?
Oh yeah, of course. All the time. People are always looking for the next thing that they could potentially pump into. And you know what? The graffiti storages are probably one of the best things to jump into because there's already a sense of intrigue. It's still developing. It's still building up. We're still getting more graffiti storages. So they could get away with kind of being camouflaged with their actions. What do I mean by that? Well, if they bought all of them out and they got more popular in terms of higher price and people are paying at those higher prices, it could look like it's natural, even though they've bought them out on a private account that can't be detected. And then, as the prices keep going higher and higher, they shift over the boxes or maybe they shift them onto third-party sites. Components definitely was attacked like immediately. I guess that some accounts just immediately jumped onto it. But the buy orders that you see over here, yeah. Every storage that recently has come out has buy orders going quite strongly all the way up to about $2.30. But this one, as you can see here, it just spiked. And it went down a bit, and then it spiked up again, and then it's gradually gone down slowly. But I expect all of the boxes to do very nicely when we go through another positive period of time. I'm still thinking when it's the end of Antwerp 2022 discount. That's what I'm still thinking. That was a lot of talking, wasn't it? How long have we been talking for?
Antwerp's overstayed its welcome. It needs to go.
It has. Antwerp's been out for about 6.5 weeks now. If it reaches Thursday again, it's been around just as long as Stockholm. 7 weeks. Oh dear.
Has that been the longest ever?
I don't 100% remember how many days exactly Stockholm discount sale was on for. But just know, the longer it goes on, the more problems it could start. Like, for instance, a lot of people are invested into Antwerp. They want to see profits, and they very likely will, if they make a profit, move it back to other things, much like the Rust economy. So that's why I'm hoping that once Antwerp's all wrapped up and finished, about maybe a good couple of weeks, a month down the line, when some of those capsules go up in price, people will cash out and then pump it back into the Rust economy, and we see the prices rise up again. My only concern is we still potentially have an operation to come out for CSGO this year. We also potentially, well, we definitely know we have another major coming out towards the end of October, the beginning of November. So, yeah, that's a problem to look out for. Always another problem, just in the near future. So,
another operation mean another case?
Another operation means another case and potentially some more operation collections. And when CSGO has very valuable skins in their operation collections, everybody grabs what they can, sells it, gets Steam Wallet and throws it at CSGO. That's what happened with Operation Riptide. Because we had the new Desert Hydra AWP and we had the new Gold Arabesque AK. They were worth thousands when they came out and everybody wanted them. So that's exactly what happened. And that's why, towards the end of 2021, around the fall-autumn season, there's a massive market crash that's very easily noticeable. And I talk about it in my Christmas Momentum Rust video. So, maybe you should watch that. So, yeah.
I was watching your video on the... it was the the case, the new case that came out, the recoil case.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you bought 2 pistols for like well over the proper price.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you for mentioning that. Much appreciated. Well, thank you. Don't worry, I've recovered perfectly fine from that. I took a risk and it didn't work out very nicely for me, so such is life, gentlemen.